3. So let's just recap where we're at on our journey through philosophy. So in term 1, who can tell me what we started with?
Memory doesn't stretch back that far.
Metaphysics.
Metaphysics. We definitely started with metaphysics, okay? And so what is metaphysics?
It's like fundamentals and shit.
Fundamentals and stuff, yep. So it's about what is the fundamental nature of reality. What is it that exists? What's our ontology? What is real? That's our metaphysics. Excellent. What do we do in term 2? Ethics, okay? So we're looking at moral behaviour. We're looking at ethical frameworks. We're looking at a number of applied ethical situations. And guess what we're doing in term 3?
Metaphysics.
Epistemology. Okay, so can anyone remember what's epistemology about? What are the things that it's tied up with? Truth, very good. Yep, truth. Okay, very good. Truth. Truth and
Knowledge.
one more, knowledge. Perfect. Okay. So questions of epistemology are things like, what do we mean by truth? All right. Now, so just by way of quick introduction, when we talk about truth, we generally have a pretty common idea of what we mean. To say that something is true means that it obtains in reality. That's the way things are. All right. But there are other theories of truth that we will explore. Knowledge. Okay, so knowledge, particularly what is knowledge and how do we obtain knowledge? Okay, so what does it mean to know something? Let's try and come up with an idea of that. Even if you just throw out some words associated with knowing, what does it mean to know if you have knowledge of some claim?
Like to be certain about some information.
Certain, yep. So you're certain. Yep, that's good. Emma?
Understanding things.
Understanding, yep, excellent. Understanding, and so add in another synonym, comprehension, comprehending. Very good. Yep, so to know is to understand it, comprehend it. What are you certain of, or what is it that you understand or comprehend if you know something?
Concepts.
Concepts, perfect. Yep, understanding concepts. All right. And what is a concept? Like, you can think of a map and the way things are related. Like what we're doing up here is a bit of a concept map. We've got epistemology, and these are the things, and these are the words associated with it. This is a concept map. And so if we're going to gain some knowledge and understanding about epistemology, we're drawing up a concept map. So we're understanding, comprehending concepts. I would also say maybe we're understanding, or we're knowing or being certain of some truth. And one more, it's information, isn't it? And you know, it's very interesting to explore what is information. But we'll leave that for now. What is information? Okay, so epistemology is about truth, the theories of truth. It's about knowledge. What is knowledge? Okay, now for a long time in philosophy, knowledge was defined as justified, true belief. Okay, so for you to have knowledge of something, you were justified in it. Okay, so that means, what does that mean? It means you had good reasons for believing it. It's true, which means it obtains in reality, and it's a belief that you hold. So it's an opinion, it's something that that you think is true. So that's what knowledge meant. But when we do our lesson on knowledge, we'll look at some problems with this theory of it. All right, so we don't use that word knowledge, but there are some problems with it. So truth, knowledge, what is knowledge? And then secondly, how do we obtain knowledge? All right, so simple answer is through our sense organs, right? We listen, we talk with one another, we can see things, we can feel, we can smell, and so from that we can make inferences about the world around us. We can gain knowledge through our sense organs, okay? But also through our cognitive faculties, right? You know, something as simple as induction. I've got a 1.5-year-old boy at home, okay? And he's figured out how to turn on light switches, all right? He can reason inductively. When I press this button, the lights go off. Oh, look at that. Oh, and then he presses it again. And he thinks it's hilarious. All right, so that's another example of how we obtain knowledge, right? He's performed some inductive reasoning process, and he's gained some knowledge about how the world works. Excellent. Okay, so that's what epistemology is. I think there's one more thing I want to talk about it. Just with knowledge, we often contrast it with, so I've got up here justified true belief. Some other things we talk about with knowledge I've got written down are perception. Okay, so that's like a perspective, isn't it? The lens that we see the world through. Okay, so we have a point of view and we don't necessarily see things as they are, rather we see them from a restricted perspective. So perception, I've got here belief, opinion, and knowledge. All right, so if we just think about these three, and you can they're probably ranked in terms of certainty, right? Knowledge, you're pretty certain that something's true if you have knowledge about it. Belief, an opinion or a belief might be something that you think is true, but you're not necessarily certain about. You don't have that sort of knowledge of it. Okay, and then the last thing to say is epistemology and metaphysics. I'm with Aristotle in that I think we look at metaphysics first because Aristotle, he famously said, all of philosophy begins with an experience of wonder. An experience of wonder at what is this? What is this? What is this? What am I? What is going on here? It's a pretty weird place, pretty weird spot. What is? Okay, and so they're all metaphysical questions. All right, but then the more you look into metaphysical questions, you're like, well, how do I know any of this? All right, any metaphysical claim. All right, 1 + 1 = 2, or I exist. All right, they're all nested in epistemology, isn't it? You're all making claims about truth, about knowledge, about how I can know something. So metaphysics is nested in epistemology, but epistemology is also necessarily nested in metaphysics. Why is that? Well, because for you to make the claim that truth has a definition, or that truth means something, means that there is some truth. Or to make the claim that how do we know things exist, or it's the claim that there is something to know, something exists to know. So there is necessarily a metaphysical assumption. All right, so these two, they're sort of inextricably linked together. But we start with metaphysics and we can reflect on it, and now we're going to look at, well, we're going to really challenge our ideas of truth, knowledge, and how we arrive at it. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing this term. So the activity we're going to start with, I might just shove this onto the next page so that we can all see it. See
Do you want me
it
to?
at once. Yeah, we can stop it for now, or we'll just talk about this
Goodbye,
activity.
YouTube.